Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Oh, husband, can you give me a water, please? Or, you know what? Just give me some here. I'm okay with that. Thank you. Again, real life, y'all. But hey, everybody, it's me. Again, the enemy tried. He tried, but God says, I will prevail. So it's me, Shar Young. I am a kingdom entrepreneur and I am an inspirational speaker, and I love acronyms. I know I keep telling y'all gonna see that side of me, but you will. They're really fun, and they are a really good way to help you affirm things. So, but my husband refers to me as the hood's intercessor, and I'm okay with that because I interpret that to mean that my passion is helping women who are ready, keyword ready, to shed their pre Jesus season so that they can be ignited in their post Jesus season. So I help women who are ready, keyword ready, to shed their pre Jesus season to be ignited into their post Jesus season. And that's because I believe that's where the magic is, at least for me. And I think every woman should feel that type of magic. Thank you, honey. Um, I lost my spot for a second. Oh, but I want every woman to feel this kind of magic. Because again, this is where the magic happens. I want women to see my shadow, their shadow, I'm sorry, in mine. But I also want you to see your light through my light to know that rebirth is possible. I am a living witness. If God will do it for me, I promise He'll do it for you. So, this week's message on the shirt says, Sis owns a business. Sis is about her business. Sis is about her father's business. Sis is me. Now, that is supposed to say, again, these are samples and examples. If I don't never turn the camera on or the store on, the devil will have his way, right? So, it's supposed to say Luke 2:41 through 52. Again, it's supposed to say Luke 2:41 through 52. Instead, the 2 is missing, which is okay because yours won't be. So again, it says, Sis owns a business. Sis is about her business. And sis is about her father's business. Sis is me. Luke 2:41 through 52. The 2 is missing. Life just be lifing, right? It happens. So, um, it took me a long time to get where I am. Like a really long time. Like really long. And I'm very, very blessed that God saw fit to keep me because I've been through the most. Um, I'm very blessed to finally know my purpose, and I'm very honored to walk in it, and I'm excited as well. Um, the sayings are catchy. Like the sayings are catchy. They are. I love them. God does this thing where I just think of something. This one is not really like, I guess it's catchy. I don't know. But God does this thing where I think of catchy sayings that correlate to something that I've been through in life, and then I can relate it to scripture in some kind of way. So, yeah. But again, the graphics are cute, and the sayings are catchy, but it's the messages that come from the Bible and the Word and the verses for me. Again, all of this is cute, and I am very grateful to God that He blesses me with that type of thing. I am, but it's not the catchy saying. It's not the really cute graphic. It's the messages inside of the Bible verses and stories that correlate. So, and I'm grateful that God blessed me to be able to learn things and share, the word that way. But again, and I'm honored. I love the graphics and things of that. Like I said, I love the whole business. I'm so grateful to God. But again, it's not about the catchy sayings. It really is about the message. So, um, and I'm okay with that because, God gets the glory He's supposed to. So we're going to talk about this Luke 2:41 through 52, where the basis of this message comes from is the story of where Jesus' parents, Mary and Joseph, would take him to Jerusalem for the Passover festival. Again, Jesus, his parents, Mary and Joseph, would take him to the Passover festival. He was only 12 years old, and they went to the festival as they did every year. This one year they went. Once the festival was over, people were scattered all through the town. Like it just wasn't like a small festival type of thing. It wasn't a small gathering, rather. It was a really big gathering. And so they got kind of separated. And once the festival was over, Jesus's parents left him behind. He stayed behind. And Mary and Joseph, they traveled for a full day before they even noticed that Jesus was not with them. So Mary and Joseph, it's not funny, but it's crazy that it was that many people that you can travel for that long and miss a child. But they traveled for almost a full day before they even realized that Jesus wasn't with them, right? Before they noticed. And so them and their family and friends, of course, they began to look for Jesus because, that's their son. With no success, they went back to Jerusalem where they found him 3 days later. So they had no success where they were looking or on their path back home. So they had to come back to Jerusalem where they found him 3 days later. So and when they did find him, Jesus was sitting in the temple's courts. So when Mary and Joseph came back and they found their son, Jesus, he was amongst leaders and teachers and physicians and great people learning. So when his parents finally got back to him, when they found him, found where he was, Jesus, he was sitting amongst leaders, teachers, people that held great positions all over. He was sitting amongst them, learning and listening and answering questions amongst these great people. And the people were actually very, very surprised. They were very surprised and pleased with him as well. But so when they got back to him, when they found him or whatever, they asked him like, why would you do this? Why would you like basically hide? Which I guess Jesus didn't look at it as hiding, but to his parents, they're on a trip basically. It's like going to Disney World and your kid just walk off or not even walk off. They just stay where, the last place that you guys were, and now you guys are gone. And if Disney World is a big park, and if you get ahead of a small kid, it's very easy to lose them. So, his mom was worried, like, why would you, do this? She got anxious. And Jesus, he answered and he said, he was very respectable as well. And he said, did I not put that on here? Anyway, he said he was doing his father's work. I didn't put it the full. No, okay, here it is. It says, why are you in distress? Getting ahead of myself. Slow down. So, Jesus responded by saying, once his parents found him and they were anxious and, worried, Why did you do this? Why would you, stay behind? Jesus answered and he said, why were you in distress and searching for me? Didn't you know that I had to be in my father's house? That's what he said. I had to be in my father's house. And basically, being in his father's house, what he meant was being amongst those great people, learning and answering those, questions amongst those great leaders. So, the purpose of this message is to inspire individuals to believe in Christ and to work for him in this side of the life, of our life. I mean, in this side, we're supposed to do our best because we're made in his image. So we are supposed to, on this side, work for him and do his work. These are some of the very first recorded words spoken by Jesus that are found in text in the Bible, which is, why are you in distress and searching for me? Didn't you know that I had to be in my father's house? And so again, that's the first thing recorded that he spoke, and he let his mother and his father know respectfully that he was doing the work that his father sent him to do. Now, he was also being respectful to his earthly parents, and he knew that he was the Messiah. So Jesus still was being respectful to his earthly parents, even though he knew that he was the Messiah and he was supposed to be where he was amongst the leaders. He still was respectful, and he still left with his parents where he stayed for several years after that. So he knew that he was the Messiah, and he still stayed under his parents because in the Bible, what does it say? What does it say? We are to respect and honor our mother and father. So that was powerful for me as well, because here he is. He knows who he is, and he still respected his heavenly parents as well as the earthly. I'm sorry. He respected his earthly parents, and he knew who he was, who his spiritual father was. Again, which was powerful. So again, he obeyed both his earthly parents, and he was obeying his spiritual father by obeying his earthly parents, because you are to honor your mother and father. Even though again that he knew he was the Messiah, he chose obedience. So in the very next book of John, verse 433, Jesus says, my food is to do the will of him who sent me and finish his work. When Jesus did things like stay behind to sit amongst the leaders and answer questions and soak in all of their knowledge, when he did those type of things, he knew he pleased God. And he felt joy pleasing God. Right? And so because he knew he pleased God, he knew that that was his nourishment. Pleasing God was Jesus's nourishment. And that was the joy he felt after he knew he had done something good in God's eyes. So again, when Jesus did things that he knew pleased God, he felt so much joy that his nourishment was the joy he felt after he knew he had done something in God's eyes. That's powerful as well, too, because the disciples offered to get him something to eat, and he said, no, I am feeding on the word. I'm here to do something, a mission, and eating is not. He said, no. The disciples, they didn't just eat around him. They asked, they offered, and he said, no. He's feeding on the word. So, allow me to say this again. I said it last week. This is not easy, but it's worth it. This is not easy, but it's worth it. So the only way for me to begin to understand all of this was to feed on the word. Okay, I was making sure I didn't lose my spot. My bad. I thought the papers were mixed up. I told y'all until I get a format, this is what it's going to be. This real life. Life be life and things happen. And you end up and you get a blooper every now and again. But again, allow me to say, again, this life isn't easy. Here I am being obedient. I'm being obedient. Being, again, obedient. Not a viewer on here, but I'm okay with that because God sent me here to do a message. And again, this is like TV is live. Life be life and things happen. So the only way for me to understand everything that God, my life, was to feed on the word. Like that's all I had really was to be able to feed on the word. And then I learned that that's the only way to fight spiritual battles. It's the only way to fight. Uh, that's your war cry. That's your praise is your weapon. Like the only if that's what you have, then that's what you do. And promise you, prayer works. Talking to God, fasting and praying on the thing, meditating on the word, really believing and having faith that He's going to stand on His promises is what will get you through. So, and that's because when you do have problems, you'll know where to go to. You'll have your weapon. When things jump off, you'll know exactly what to do. You'll know what Bible verse to go to. You'll know who to maybe what story to go to, what book to go to, what apostle, what just whatever you may need in the Bible. Once you start getting into the word, you'll know where to go. Which is helpful because again, feeding on the word is like getting full when you're hungry in real life. So this leads me to Matthew 5:6, which says, blessed are those, or blessed, whose hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. So Matthew 5:6 says, blessed are those whose hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Pursuing God passionately is also being thirsty and hungry for His righteousness. And those of us who pursue that type of relationship with God will get it. Those of us, you and me, that pursue that kind of relationship will get it. Because if you want it, God will not turn you away. Again, He gives you the choice, but you have to want it. And as long as you're seeking, He's definitely going to answer. You're definitely going to see prayers answered, miracles, signs, and wonders. And we got to understand this too, because people like to say, well, if God is so good, why does this happen? Why does that happen? Because it's been happening since the beginning of time. That's just the way we were born. After you take your first breath, there's two things you're going to do: breathe and then die, whenever that may be. Those people went through it. We're no better. We're going to have problems. We're going to have issues. We just have to have, again, continuous faith in God. Those who pursue that type of relationship, again, will get it. Trust me, I'm a living witness. Yeah, and that comes with peace and true contentment. That comes with peace and true contentment. So that was the Bible lesson, the verse lesson. But of course, I have a few notes that I typed out. Again, at this point in my life, all I had was my faith. When I began to really take this walk, and I'm going to go back to a time, I think I spoke about it in a few videos ago. Before I recap, I'm going to touch on when I made my bathroom my war room. Again, I won't really get all the way deep into the specifics of a lot of that relationship, but I do know that I couldn't talk about God in the house and I had to go to the bathroom to pray, I would sometimes take an hour shower and talk to God. I would sometimes take an hour shower to talk to God. So you find a way. You in the car on the way to school in the morning, taking the kids to school on your way to work. But whatever it is you have to do, find a way to talk to him. Find a way to read the Bible. You got apps on your phone. Give them 5 minutes a day, 2 minutes a day to get you out of whatever that thing you're in and you trying to remove yourself, whatever the situation may be. Again, I just, I knew the only way to get out of that situation was God. And so therefore I had to seek him. I had to find a way to really pray without ceasing. And the bathroom was my route. And he did that thing. And then, um, yep. Then being hospitalized about 20 plus times in a maybe 24-year or month period, I want to say. So I was hospitalized with sickle cell 20 plus times in less than a 24-month period. And I, again, can't remember um, the years, rather, the month, I can't remember. But I was so sick back then. This illness was really, really taking a toll on my body. And each sickle cell crisis seemed like they were getting worse. And it seemed like things were just falling apart. I needed a hip replacement and one of the shoulders was going and it was just, things was wild. And blood pressure, blood clots. Oh my God. It was crazy. I was going through a lot with this illness in those short 24 months. And I'm not talking about a week hospital stay for 2 days. I'm talking about 3, 4 weeks at a time sometimes. In 24, less than, I mean, in about a 24-month period. And so, again, I knew that God and only God could bring me through that thing. And one thing that confirmed it for me in the hospital, I don't believe in no chance happenings. People, fall in your presence all the time for a reason. And the housekeeper, she knew I had been in there for days and I was down. Every time she come in the room, this medicine got me just, the medicine already has you loopy and sad and depressed and down. Your tone is just down. And she could tell. And she was a woman of God. And she prayed for me. And she left me some Bible verses that I still saved. I saved them to this day. I have them somewhere. But she knew that I was going through a thing. And again, I don't believe God. I don't believe any chance happens. So she was there for a reason. And she told me to not give up. God, I was going to beat this thing. Sickle cell was not going to take me out of here. And that right there in the hospital made me feel like I could win. Like, again, people are placed in your path at the right time for the right reason. And so she really cheered me up in that moment. And I started to feel like, okay, I got kids. God, I have to figure out how to turn this thing around. And so from there on, I started working out. And as a matter of fact, I worked out for 10 months before I turned 40, which leads me to the next point. I had to retire at the age of 39. Now, the reason why I'm telling you these points, remember, is because of Matthew 5:6, which says, "Blessed are those who are hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled." So back to, I had to retire at the age of 39, right? And that was a ego. Listen, my ego was shot completely. I had to humble myself, like no other. Like it was just, oh my God, my ego was completely torn, torn. I was depressed, uh, taking depression pills, taking, at this point, this was before I started working out and stuff, before, um, after I retired, I think. But my doctor had already, um, he already asked me to retire. It had been like 2 years prior. And I'm like, no, I'm too young to retire. I'm not doing that. And so I said maybe by 40. And I was really only kidding then. That was like 36, 37. And again, by the time I turned 39, I had been in the hospital those 20 plus times. And he was like, listen, I'm serious. You need to retire. And I asked him, could I wait until my 40th birthday because I wanted this lavish 40th birthday party, and I was doing things and not trying to please other people because here he is warning me about my health, and I'm asking him to give me an extra year. And he said, sure, yeah, you can wait until you're 40 if you want to take the chance of making it to 40. So, yeah. So he told me, yeah, I can wait. I can go to work. I can continue. I can wait and take the chance. But who's to say I'm going to make it to 40? So right there, I was like, okay, you ain't even, that's enough. Because I don't know if you said that to scare me or if you said that to be serious. But either way, let's get this paperwork going because that was enough. So again, having to retire at 39 years old, 39, not even 40. And I was yet to be 40 for a whole nother year. 39 years old because of sickle cell anemia ravaging my body. I had to retire. And again, it was either to humble myself or take the chance of not being here for my children. So, of course, I chose the latter, my children, and here I am on the other side of that thing because God brought me out. He did, just like every other situation. But I don't know how that would have turned out had I not retired. But I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice but to see God. And so, again, it had to humble me. And so, in my humbling begins my seeking God. Because at this point, again, you go from making great money to a fixed, very fixed income. So, you got to humble yourself to get used to that type of thing. And it's not easy. It's not easy. But God did that thing. Right? So, I had no choice but to seek God. As I said before, God waits for you to come to him. You just have to be blessed enough that God blesses you to allow you to come to him. He gives you the choice, but we better do it before something, happens. He gives you the choice, but again, you better make the right choice before something happens in your life. So that's all I'm saying. I had to seek him because I had nothing else but faith. So let's recap really, really quickly. The Bible verses mentioned today was Luke 2. That's what this should say. It should say Luke 2, 41 through 52, which was the story of Jesus' first recorded words. Don't quote me. People take things literally, but that's what they say. It was Jesus' first recorded words where he said, why were you in distress and searching for me? Didn't you know that I had to be in my Father's house? So Jesus was doing God's work, And his earthly parents were in a frantic looking for him. He knew his mission and who he was, which is the Messiah, but he still obeyed his earthly parents because he understood that, he was their child. And of course, a missing child is traumatizing for parents. So he, even in obeying his his spiritual God, Father, God, he was obeying his earthly parents as well, which is what we're supposed to do: honor thy mother and thy father, right? But he knew he was the Messiah. He could have, chose to go the other way, but he chose obedience. So the Bible is amazing to me, guys. Okay, and then we move to John, verse 4 and 33, which says, Jesus says, my food is to do the will of him who sent me and finish his work. He was so hungry and thirsty for the word. The disciples offered him food, and he said, no, thank you. I am feeding on the word. No, you don't have to give me nothing to eat. I'm good. You can eat them. You can eat that rib in front of me. I'm going to chew on these Bible verses over here. Wow. Okay. Matthew 5 and 6 is the next verse mentioned, which is blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. And again, I mentioned many reasons why I had to begin searching God. I couldn't talk to him, couldn't mention him. I had to go and make my bathroom, my war room. He brought me out of that thing, hospitalized too many times in less than 2 years, and here I am. And here I am. Right? God is amazing. Retired at 39 years of age, never ever would have pegged that for my life. But God is amazing. And I had to begin, I had to shed that pre-Jesus Mika, because now who you leaning on? You ain't got them real nice digits an hour that you were making anymore to lean on. What you leaning on now? God will humble you, believe me. So again, that's why I say the phrases and things of that nature is catchy. Phrases are catchy. The graphics are beautiful, are nice, but it's really the messages. Like, this is more of a message ministry type of thing, right? Um, so I guys, I encourage you, really, if you are needing God to do a thing for you, if you are needing God to do a thing for you, start seeking him. Start seeking him. Start with these Bible verses. These I just gave you, and then you can go to the ones from last week. So now you have like 8 or 9 now, right? Um, we all start somewhere. I did too. I did too. It's okay. So a few apps are Bible for Women in Daily Studying, the Study Bible, which has a few different transcriptions, such as the Message Bible and the New Living Testament, the Message Bible and the New Living Testament. Be careful of the transcriptions. Be careful of the transcriptions, because they've been reworded and reworded over time, and you just have to be careful. So get a King James version of an app or an actual Bible, and then read, the different transcription, so that you can make sure you decipher and see exactly what was in the King James version and then what was in the transcribed version. So another also another really good one is the Amplify app, and this version is written in a dialogue that is very easy to interpret. I have that one downloaded. And also, Anything by Charles Stanley is phenomenal. Anything by Charles Stanley is phenomenal. If this has helped you with all my stuttering, I'm going to get it together. Again, I'm on assignment. I apologize, but I am on assignment. So This is life. This is live. This is new to me. And I got to get through it, right? Because God said so. So if this has helped you, or you know someone that it may have helped, if this has helped you, or you know someone that it may have helped, please share it. Hit subscribe, like on whatever social media handle that is it is showing up for you on. Hit like or share. Guys, I don't know what God is doing in this season. I don't know what God is doing in this season, but what I do know is I don't want him to do it without me. I really don't. I'm excited to see where things are going. I'm very excited. I'm amazing myself decoding these messages that relate to life. Yeah, again, the sayings are catchy, guys, but they really have a deeper meaning. They really do. So remember, as I close, I am telling you all of these stories, all of these things that I've been through in life that God has pulled me through. I don't tell you these things to impress you. I tell you these things to impress upon you that you have the same access as I do. You have the same access to God and his kingdom as I do. He gives you a choice. He gives you a choice. He does not make you. And even being tardy to the party, even us being tardy to the party, God still loves us. And when we're ready, he still accepts us. Even when we're tardy to the party, God still loves us and he still accepts us. So that was the end of this video. Luke 2, 4, 241, and 52. Sis owns a business. Sis is about her business. Sis is about her father's business. Sis is me. So none of this would be possible if it wasn't for him. So all right, guys, I appreciate. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.